You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to Cards to the Moon. This is a Friday edition, and my name is Clark from 5cardguys.com and 5cardguys on Instagram. I'm recording the intro solo again, but I will be playing a clip that Hyung and I recorded earlier at a baseball youth camp that Hyung and his team hosted. 5cardguys was one of the sponsors for the camp as well, and we gave away, what else? Mystery packs filled with baseball cards. In each pack, we made sure to put one graded slab and an autographed card, which made the kids happy. Let me just say, it's amazing to see the kids get excited about baseball cards. A bunch of them were trading with each other already, and hey, we're trying to do our part to 10x the hobby. We were actually able to film the camp as part of Hyung's summer camp video series, where he explores his journey of building community through baseball. And that episode should be coming out in a couple of weeks. But Episode 1 of that series is already out, and Episode 2, which should be coming out this weekend, will feature both Hyung and I at Fanatics Fest in New York City. So make sure you check it out at youtube.com/HyungCho. I'll include the link in our show notes below. Anyway, the clip that we're going to play for you for this podcast episode is actually an update on the Mike Trout 2009 Bowman Chrome prospect auto that I had. And if you remember, we cracked it out of its BGS 9 case. And loyal listeners will know, in a previous episode, we mentioned that the plan was to submit to PSA and hope for the best. So what we did was we went to Fanatics Fest, we dropped off the card at PSA, and we got the grade back. I know some of you have DM'd me at 5cardguys, curious about whether we had an update. Well, this episode is for you, and man, there was a little twist in our story. Let's say we didn't get the full grade we wanted. All right, here's a clip, and we'll catch you on Tuesday with another new episode. All right, so Hyung and I were at the Kyopo baseball camp, and it's a beautiful day. Couldn't ask for better weather. And right now, what we're going to do for the segment on our podcast, Cards to the Moon, we're going to talk about the reveal of the Mike Trout 2009 Bowman Chrome, his first Bowman auto. And loyal listeners of the podcast will know that we cracked it out of the BGS 9, and we went to Fanatics Fest in New York City, which was only a few days ago, but seems a lot longer than that. And we did express service to PSA, and this is the update. But do you want to give the background of what we actually did, like how we submitted it?
For sure. Well, when I was cracking it, I remember, Clark, you're sweating a bit. You know, you're kind of questioning whether we're gonna ruin the card or not. I know you have faith in me, but
yeah. The crack was a really loud sound, so that kind of startled me. But
honestly, one of the cleanest BGS cracks I've done. Very smooth. But yeah, we went to Fanatics Fest. We submitted Clark's card. The first thing we did, we got in as the last episode on my vlog. Yep. We recorded the whole thing, but yeah, the process was really easy. The PSA rep was great. He guided us through it. You submitted it on an Express?
On an Express, and initially I didn't know if I was going to get the card back at the end of the show, right? Because we were only there for the first 2 days, and like you mentioned, the rep was really nice, really guiding us through the process, and he said there's a chance we could get it on Saturday at the end of the day, and if we didn't, then he would just ship it back to us at my home address.
Right. And a lot of questions, they're asking what type of service did you send it in? And we did a $179 express service because there was a chance that the value would be under $2,500 because that cutoff value was $2,500. Right. You didn't want to go and spend the super express service because that was over $2,500 in case it came back like a PSA 8.
That's right.
And then you would have burnt that money. So the better thing to do was go on to an express service where it's $179, and if it exceeds the $2,500, you would get upcharged.
Right.
Which
is fine. Which is fine because
then you know the value is so much more than the 2,500.
Right.
And so the upcharge would be about, it was like $150 to $200 more,
right,
actually. So that was the two tiers that we're looking at.
So you wanna reveal what you got?
Yeah, no, this is exciting. For people, we'll put this on our YouTube too, but you see the back of the card? Slow reveal, just like the app. There you go. It came back a PSA 9 mint condition. And because it was a PSA 9 and it went from BGS 9 to PSA 9, I did get the upcharge.
Right.
And that turned out to be about $400 for the service. Yeah, so it's not cheap, but the value definitely increased from about $3,000 to about $4,000 now.
Amazing, $1,000 in value. Let's talk about really quick. It says auto authentic because we did dual grade it, hoping for a 10 auto.
Right.
But what happened on that?
Yeah, so if there's a disappointing part of this story, this is it right here. Because when we cracked it out, it was a BGS 9, but the auto was a perfect 10. And if you look at the autograph, we still can't see why it wouldn't be a 10. So that's our reasoning. We're like, let's submit it for an auto grade, probably get a 10, looks nice and bold. It came back a 7. Ooh. Okay, it came back a 7, not an 8, not a 9, but a 7, which I can't comprehend how.
PSA, we got to find out what the deal is.
And that's another interesting point. At the Express level, you get the grader's notes. Remember that was introduced recently, and they explain why it got the grade it did. And we kind of expected the PSA 9, the card grade, to be a surface issue because we could see it and you can only do so much about it. But everything else was great. Centering was perfect. Edges and corners were perfect, and the auto seemed to look perfect, but the grader's note didn't include why the auto grade got a 7, which is curious to me. So I don't know if you want to explain the next part, why we wanted to go from the 7 to authentic.
Yeah, so basically what we don't want is the 7 auto on the slab. I think it devalues the slab. And even potential buyers would notice that too. They wouldn't buy an auto 7. So luckily Clark got a hold of the rep and they were able to switch it from auto 7 to authenticating the auto, where we didn't really grade the auto. So that was, I guess, the bad news / good news at the end of the day. It still was a bump, increased his value of about $1,000 on this card, which is great. And most importantly, it looks way better, in my opinion, in that PSA slab than the BGS 9 slab. So overall, successful crack. Clark had a little heart attack at the beginning, but we got the grade we wanted and we're very happy with the results.
And last thing I'll say is that the PSA rep, the second rep that I talked to get the authenticated auto, very helpful. So I'm going to give one quick shout out to the PSA rep. PSA as an overall company, you got to explain yourself with the auto grade, all right? So I'll reach out to you after this episode.
Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.